It's a word we haven't heard much lately, super spreader. That's because the U.S. daily COVID case counts have waned since the spring as the country approaches the critical milestone of getting half the entire population fully vaccinated. But the virus is not defeated yet. An NBC News article out this morning examines the role of super spreader events in keeping the coronavirus threat alive. Denise Chow, reporter for NBC News Science, wrote that article and joins us now. Denise, good morning. So first of all, I guess we are still seeing these events. Where are they happening?
That's right. We are still seeing these events, and they've actually been going on throughout the pandemic. But as you mentioned, when cases were lower, it sort of removed the opportunity and the chance that we were going to see these large outbreaks, which is why it sort of felt like there was a lull and we weren't hearing about them as much. But they are still happening. We do have some recent examples. There was a church camp in South Texas in late June that was linked to at least 180 new cases. There was a summer camp in central Illinois where it was 85 infections were traced back to this camp. And there have also been international examples. There was a disco party in the Netherlands that led to 160 new cases. And earlier this month, the Miss Mexico pageant had to be halted because nearly half of the contestants tested positive.
So there's some examples there. We know we've also been seeing crowds at concerts and sporting events. I know I was at a baseball game over the weekend. Are events like these the problem, or is it simply that just not enough people attending are vaccinated?
Well, it's mostly the question of not enough people being vaccinated. A lot of the sporting events and big gatherings that are being held require proof of vaccination. But in places where there's lower vaccination rates, there are these pockets of people that are more susceptible. And it doesn't take something like a big sporting event. It could just be a party. It could be another type of larger than usual gathering. And so these are really the instances that are sort of the perfect storm for these super spreader events to occur. And vaccination rates across the board in this country have slowed, and so that sort of just creates these pockets of risk.
And a lot of this is because of the Delta variant, which is worrying a lot of people because it's more transmissible. It's now the dominant strain in the U.S. So with that in mind, how should we change our behavior both as individuals and groups? What are the experts you've spoken with telling you about that?
Yeah, well, actually, the best way to think about it is that there's sort of three main factors that are involved with transmission of this virus. The first is just the characteristics of the virus itself. So as you mentioned with the Delta variant, this is a more transmissible variant. And so the virus has sort of improved its ability to infect people in a way. The second factor is the susceptibility of a population. And this has changed a lot because of the vaccine. So a significant portion of the population is protected. And, you know, we're nearing nearly 50% of the U.S. population being fully vaccinated. The third factor that we should think about is just the behavior of the population. So whether people are interacting and congregating. And that's really the second and third factor are the things that we can improve. So vaccination efforts should be, continue and should be doubled down on. And we should also just be careful and avoid situations that allow these big, large outbreaks to occur.
All right. Great read at NBCnews.com. Denise, thanks so much for your reporting. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.